Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all you Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth and to the hopeful elect. This is the brother Hadabiar coming back at you with another one. And I'm just going to, just going into, fear and how, we need to fear, our power, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So I'm going to start off with Luke 1:15. And his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. So the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is gonna have fear. It's like it's gonna have mercy on those that fear him. It is a requirement, when within this truth, to follow Yahushai, that we are to fear him. And the Lord is gonna have mercy upon those that fear him. And the reason why it's important to fear is because we understand, what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is capable of. These Christians out here, these false prophets, pushing incorrect names, or just weird doctrines based off of feeling. They don't fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because if they did, they wouldn't do such things. Okay. That's why it is very important to fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is Psalms 25:10. All the paths of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are mercy and truth unto such as to keep his covenant and his testimonies. For thy name's sake, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, pardon my iniquity, for it is great. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. So, the ones that fear Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, the Lord, through the Spirit, will reveal, secrets, and the secrets and truth to the understanding, this word. and and that's why we are to, fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because once you do, the Lord will open up, his spirit towards you. But many of Israel do not fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's why they continue to do what they want to do. This is Psalms 11:10. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endurance forever. So, just like I said, when you fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the secrets, will be revealed unto you, and that's wisdom. That's wisdom, and that's understanding, and it's truth. That's why the average Jake, can't understand, these precepts. That's why they can't envision, the MOTB. That's why they can't see, America being destroyed, with ICBMs. It's because they lack that fear. So the understanding is not open up to them. They don't the wisdom is not given unto them through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And when you fear the Lord, that's like the first requirement in order to to follow him and to understand him. Because like it says, it's the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is the beginning of wisdom. So, wisdom, will kick in, and there's no, and especially with the name Jesus Christ, there's no fear in that. A lot of us, prior to coming, to being in this truth, we knew the name of JC, and we were wicked as hell. We didn't want to change, our ways. We don't want to put off that old man. We wanted to just continue living in sin. And then it wasn't until that, the Lord woke us up, and tapped us, tapped our spirits, and we knew the name. Once you know the name Yahweh, which is the Father, and Yahweh Shai, which is the Son, that those names, they breathe fear into you, because there's power. There's power in those names, and furthermore, there's power in the Hebrew. That JC, there's no power in that. That name is dead. That's why these people out here, can call upon that name and do the most wickedest things. Because they lack that fear. This is Deuteronomy 10 and 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai thy power require of thee, but to fear the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai that power. So it is required. You have to. There's no way you can serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai and not fear him. No way. Walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So we are required, we must fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai in order to serve him. It's a commandment. It is a commandment to Israel, to the Israelites, to the so-called, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It is a requirement to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, your power. These other heathens, and the Edomites, they don't. It's not a commandment unto them. They don't need to fear the Lord. They could live, wickedly all they want. They could, do the things that they want to do, because these instructions weren't given unto them. These commandments weren't given unto them. It is only given unto Israel. And only fearing the Lord will make you want to change. This is Proverbs 1 and 7. Fear the Lord, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Yes. So, and that's, that's Jake. You know, you say it's the beginning of knowledge. It is to fear the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. It's the beginning of wisdom. But you know, these people don't want that knowledge. They rather the wisdom and knowledge of the things of this world. They rather know, you know, they rather know, um, they rather know about their entertainers and who had the best album, or these athletes, who had the best stats. That's what Jake care about. You know, they don't care about understanding this word, understanding these scriptures, and how important they are, and the power that is behind them. You want to be fools. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, starting at verse 11. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. So we see that fear comes into hand. It plays a big part. It plays a very big part. Well, when you fear the Lord, it links into so much other things. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope. Yeah, especially in this world, you know, in this walk, we're all going through so many. Everybody is going through something. And despite how difficult it may be, the fact is that we trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. So we are not to you know we're not to fear, in the sense of what we may find ourselves up against, because we fear our power, because we trust in him and know he's in control of everything. We have hope, because these people out here, they don't got no hope. They don't understand. Verse 15, blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord. To whom does he look, and who is his strength? And that's our strength. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is our strength. For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling and an help from falling. So the Lord is all those things toward for us. He really he really brings that comfort in the midst of all the darkness, in the midst of all the chaos. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he's that light. He's that light that we need. So that's gonna do it for this one. So a quick one, just wanted to bring out a few scriptures on just fear, because it is just so important. It's just so important to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So I pray this. I want to pray that it was edifying. I'd like to close out. by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there pushing this truth through all the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, until the next one, Shalom.